This is Late Night Health. This is the radio show that cares about the most important part of your life, your health. During the next hour, the insane Darryl Wayne and I are going to take a look at a couple of things that I think most of us are interested in. We're going to find out about plastic surgery during the second part of our show in about 30 minutes. We're going to find out how to pick a plastic surgeon, what to look for, and maybe even talk about one or two latest techniques that plastic surgeons are doing to make us look better and, of course, then feel better. During the first part of our show, I'm going to spend some time with my friend, Darryl Wayne, and we're going to talk about doctors and going to appointments and times and all that. How are you today, Darryl?
I am quite fine, thank you very much.
I'm glad to hear that. When you go to a doctor's appointment, does it bug you that they say, be here at 10 o'clock, and you get there at 10 to 10, and they don't get you in until 11? Does that ever happen to you?
Yeah, constantly, but the thing that bothers me the most is when they call you and say that if you're late, they're going to charge you even if you don't show up. But if they're late, it doesn't matter. There's no consequence.
Yes. And I don't know if I've said this on the show. What happens to what I do, and I've done this a couple times. I was at an allergist a number of years ago, and they had this big sign saying just what you said. If you're late for an appointment more than 15 minutes, you may not get in. We will charge you, all this kind of stuff. So I asked to speak to the office manager who came out, and I said, if I'm late, you're going to charge me. And she said, yes, sir. And I said, what if you're late? I said, how about from now on, I'll charge you if you're later than 15 minutes? Because as an allergist, you probably don't have emergencies. I mean, a cardiologist, I understand. They could have somebody, having a heart attack. I said, you just have to let the patient know that you're running late. And I said, so I'll just charge you. And I said, I'll charge you like $500 an hour. And she actually blanched. She turned white as a ghost. Nobody had ever talked to her like that before. I think everybody should do that. Any thoughts?
Well, I mean, it's conceptually, it makes sense, but I mean, it's not going to happen.
No, they're not going to pay it. I understand.
Last time I went to a doctor's appointment, say the appointment was 10 o'clock, we got there at like 5 to 10, checked in. Within half an hour, they took us into a examination room and sat down, and we waited for at least another 45 minutes. The neurologist was in the room next door to us, and these walls are paper thin. You can hear everything going on. And she was starting a whole entry interview with somebody that had never been there before, introducing themselves. She's introducing her and talking about what potential issues this person had. And, it's just sort of a chit-chat she's doing with this person that started after my appointment time and date. And it just looks like it was going to go on forever. You feel like banging on the wall and saying, would you shut the F up and come in here and work with me?
It's funny. I guess about a week ago, I had a teleconference with a doctor. And the appointment was at 9:45. I don't understand appointments at quarter hours. 9:30 I get, 10 o'clock I get, 9:45. Anyway. So I get an email, a text. Please sign in at 9:30 for your appointment with Dr. X. And I thought, wow, the doctor is actually early. This is great.
I stopped going to Dr. X a long time ago.
You did too? Okay. So I go on and nothing happens. There's just literally nothing happening. And so at 9:45, when the appointment is supposed to start, now I'm getting concerned. So I waited another 10 or 12 minutes. It's almost 10 o'clock, and I get another text. It didn't say we're sorry. It said, your doctor is running behind. Please hold on. And when the doctor came on, I asked him, I said, what was going on there? He goes, well, I had to spend more time with a patient. I said, you should have told your office staff because you're over a half hour late. He said, no, I'm not. I'm only 15 minutes late. He said, no, your staff asked me to sign on at 9:30. Doctors don't seem to have concern for their patients' time. And that really bothers me. Thoughts on that?
Well, I think that as far as the patient's time and the doctor's time is concerned, yeah, you're right. They do not value or put a value on our time, but they certainly put a value on theirs.
And it's getting worse. I think that some of the practices here in Southern California, and it may be common throughout the country, practices are being bought up. UCLA is buying up all kinds of places. Cedars-Sinai is buying up all kinds of places. They have, there's off the off the 101 in Agoura, big UCLA sign. There's another UCLA sign in Thousand Oaks. And they're buying up these practices, and that's fine, except that they're so bloated, the right hand doesn't know what the left hand is doing when you need to make an appointment or if there is an appointment that's scheduled. And the doctors, I think, are overscheduled, and they're doing that on purpose. And we, the patient, are suffering.
Well, I mean, when you're talking about the consolidation of the business practices, I found with my dentist, I was going to a dental group in Ventura, California, where I live, and it was an independent group of some type, local, and they were bought up by a doctor, his first name, and he's got like thousands of locations, I guess. And what happens is now when you call, you don't call to the dentist office, you call into a central 800 number where a representative speaks to you and decides whether you have a valid enough reason to be put through to the office itself or whether they can handle scheduling or whatever else. And once you get scheduled and maybe appear there, once you leave, they say, well, we need to go over the things with you. And they're big on sending text messages, and they do Zoom calls, and they do, teleconferencing like you had mentioned. But the problem being, they would say, okay, we've analyzed the information we've taken. We want to present it to you. Dr. So-and-so will be on a Zoom call with you at so-and-so's time. Just log on and use the password we've given you. Say, well, I don't have a password. You've never given me a password. And you call back in to ask for the password, and he says, well, let me take the information. I'll have someone there get back to you. Say, no, just, give me the information now. Just take it. No, the way it works is I leave them a message, and they call me back, and I give it to you. And it just never happened. And then you call next to set appointment. So, well, we can't set the appointment until we've watched this video, which you haven't watched. It was scheduled and you didn't watch it. Why not? I said, because I didn't have a password. Oh, well, we send that out ahead of time. No, you didn't, right? And you get into a loop. You can't get out of it, right?
Oh, it's terrible. I'm kind of independent. I'm not part of a group, but I'm having a procedure in a month and a half, and they want me to have a patient portal, and we'll talk about patient portals. I think they're great. I've used them but if you don't want it, they won't work with you. The appointment I was talking about at 9:30 and moved to 9:45. If I didn't have the patient portal, they weren't going to even talk to me. All right, we're going to take some time out. Darryl and I will be back in just a couple of moments. Visit us at latenighthealth.com, latenighthealth.com. Lots going on over there, and you'll be able to see pretty pictures of Darryl and maybe even one of me. Don't go away. More coming up here at Late Night Health. Late Night Health is proud of our partnership with the EBC, the Evolutionary Business Council. Check them out at ebcouncil.com.
You're listening to Late Night Health with Mark Alyn. The show continues in a moment.
Recently, I met Jacqueline from Bright here in Los Angeles. She gave me a hearing exam and then showed me how to hear again with the new Signia Pure Series hearing aids, and she can give you your life back too. I hear birds chirping, birds cooing, and even my wife. They easily connect to my smartphone. The Signia hearing aids are amazing, and with the charge and go, I don't have to fiddle with batteries and hear all day long. Not hearing is frustrating for you and your family. I know you don't have a problem, but trust me, call Bright Here now for a free hearing exam, a $125 value, yours free, just for making an appointment now. There are offices throughout the Los Angeles area. Call Bright Here now at 323-424-7100. That's 323-424-7100 for a free hearing exam. There's no obligation. Call now, 323-424-7100, or visit them on the web at brighthere.com.
If you're listening to Late Night Health right now, you're part of the growing target of baby boomers we're serving. Hi, I'm Darryl Wayne, producer of Late Night Health, inviting you to join the Late Night Health family. If you have any business targeting the growing boomer market, Late Night Health is the ideal advertising vehicle for you. From vitamins to insurance, alternative health to Western-style medicine, Late Night Health caters to the growing population of those over 40 years old. This vibrant demographic has expendable income to fight aging, purchase travel, take care of aging parents, or just have fun. Find out about the advertising opportunities with Late Night Health. Call us at 805-391-0308. That's 805-391-0308, or email us at info@latenighthealth.com. That's info@latenighthealth.com. Join Late Night Health as we empower people to take charge of their own health care. Call now at 805-391-0308. That's 805-391-0308.
Sometimes it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Words are a critical aspect of success. How you get your point across is a crucial part of what makes anything sell. So do it right and hire a writer. Whether it's articles, blog posts, technical writings, website content, product descriptions, or ghostwriting anything from a novel to a nonfiction book about your navel, contact Servet Hassan. If you want it to sell, write it right. Email Servet at servet@servethassan.com.
It's time to tackle a tough topic, one that affects us all. We're talking about sexism in the workplace. The award-winning Identifying the Elephant in the Room series is back and ready to tackle some complicated communications issues again. This spring, we're focusing on critical communication strategies in the face of sexism. Join us as we hear from professionals in the natural products industry who have valuable career lessons to share and real-world experience to discuss from all sides of the elephant. It's time to have an honest and open conversation about the impact of sexism in the workplace and how we can make it better for everyone. Identifying the Elephant in the Room series starts March 16th. Register today at inicibox.vfairs.com. That's INICIBOX.VFAIRS.com, and join the conversation to be part of the solution. Late Night Health continues. I'm Mark Alyn, along with the insane Darryl Wayne. We're talking about lack of respect to patients from doctors' offices. And I'm not sure it's 100% the doctor's fault. I think they're being protected by their staff. And there's just so much staff. Have you had to use a patient portal? You were talking about having passwords, so I'm assuming you have.
Yeah, I've used some of those in the past. I think it's convenient. I think it helps with you being able to see results of tests that have been given, that they're not necessarily sharing all the information with you from the doctor's perspective. And yeah, I had made an appointment. I had a cardiac evaluation a year ago.
Right.
And there's I'm not really going to say an issue. There's a anomaly that I have that doesn't really physically need to be corrected at this point, but they said, check about it in a year. So I made this appointment a year ago last June. They called me 3 days before the appointment to say the doctor's not going to be available on that day. Either pick a different day or go through it with a nurse practitioner rather than the cardiologist himself. I
Oh,
mean,
jeez.
they had a year to get their act together to be able to make this appointment happen. And obviously, things come up. I understand if it's a matter of life and death and the cardiologist has a patient and he does surgery he needs to attend to. I understand all that. But they don't give you any of that background. They just say, he's not available. Well, for a year, I've made myself available for this, right? So,
Yeah.
and they have no, they don't have a guilty feeling about it in their body. They just ramble it off like it's no big deal. The doctor's not available on Monday. So I said that I wanted to have the appointment with the cardiologist because that's what I waited a year for. And the next appointment that he had available is the middle of July.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
I certainly hope that whatever this issue is hasn't changed in a drastic manner. So, and
Well,
you know,
it's,
there's some things that happen in your brain and in your heart and in your system that you don't necessarily feel bad about, or it doesn't hurt, or it doesn't ache, or it doesn't bleed, right? And so you don't know. And the thing is,
it would be common courtesy if the doctor's staff would call and say in advance, maybe called you in April and said, the doctor's going to be on vacation when you picked your next appointment, or we know he's not going to be available.
Well, I mean, they just seem to be one foot in front of the other, right? They're myopic when it comes to what customer service is all about.
There is no such thing as customer service. These guys just don't care. They absolutely don't care.
Well,
I got one for you.
Well, once you
So
make your
I-
200th phone call, to tell somebody that they can't attend to their medical needs, it gets pretty easy probably. I mean, I call it the apocalypse now syndrome, right? You saw the movie, Mark.
Yeah, sure.
And the first 45 minutes of the movie is horrid and awful and disgusting and repulsive and gross. And about 45 minutes into the movie, you say, oh, another head on a stick, right? You become desensitized to the situation, what you're doing, right? So I don't think that these are bad people. I just think they've lost their sensitivity as far as the news that they're delivering, right?
Well, I got so I had a doctor's appointment for a cardiac issue that is going to be corrected in about a month and a half. It's something I've had all my life. It's not life threatening and all that. I'm nervous about it, but this too shall pass. I've never spent a night in the hospital except when I had my tonsils out and I wanted my mommy at the age of 4. But so I went in, had this appointment with a surgeon. I got there on time. They brought me into an office and said, "This isn't the doctor's office, but we'd like you to wait here." So it was another doctor's office. I waited about a half hour. Then we went in to meet the doctor, the surgeon. And his nurse practitioner had come in and talked to us for a few minutes, but so I went in to see the doctor. He was a half hour late, and I pointed that out. I said, "Why didn't your staff just come in and say that you were running behind?" He says, "I don't know." I said, "You're the head of this thing. You should." So that was one. About 3 weeks after I had that appointment, maybe a month, I received in the mail a survey regarding that doctor. Well, I don't know how he is. I haven't had the procedure yet. What a waste of time and energy and money to ask me how the doctor performed when I have no clue. It just, that right hand and left hand not knowing what they're doing. It would seem to me that they would know that I only had one meeting with this guy. They wouldn't know that he was a half hour or more late. But they should know that he hasn't done anything to me yet.
You would think so.
And it was aggravating. And so I have it here on my desk, and what I'm going to do is fill it out afterwards, but they wanted it back, right now. Help us out right now. This whole thing doesn't make sense. And maybe we should ask an attorney, but isn't isn't an appointment like a legal contract?
Legal contract has offer acceptance and compensation involved. So yes,
Well, that's why yeah. And it's even if it's an oral contract, and it's not, it's written. They send you an email saying, Darryl has an appointment at 10 o'clock. And you don't get in to see the doctor until 11:30. I think that's ridiculous.
it's rotten business.
It is a rotten business. What was it? I just heard, oh, in Australia, a woman and her boyfriend had an oral commitment, an oral contract, she says, for him to pick her up and take her to the airport and then to watch her dogs for a week. Well, he ghosted her. He didn't show up to take her to the airport. She, um, and he didn't take care of her dogs for a week, which is really criminal. Um, she scurried around, got to the airport, and she's suing him now. It probably won't go anyplace, but I just heard about that the other day. But it was an oral contract. They both agreed to it. Uh, I guess it's just getting sillier and sillier. And with the healthcare system, and the bloated businesses, um, that that are around, it just makes me nuts. It really does. Um, uh, any last minute thoughts as we wrap up this section of late night health, Darryl?
Well, unfortunately, because a lot of us get trapped into talking about contracts, into who your primary care person is going to be, and we don't have a lot of choices on our side anymore. They used to say, "Oh, if you don't like the way we do business, go somewhere else." Sometimes going somewhere else is not possible due to insurance restrictions or the group that you're in, or who your potential employer are, or whether it's Medicare, Medi-Cal, whatever the case may be. But yeah, we don't have the choices that we can make. We can't just walk away sometimes, and we're sort of stuck with what we have. So, I mean, do you complain and become an irritant, or do you just smile and take it?
Well, I was told I needed to see a doc, and it was they couldn't see me until after a procedure that they want me to do, but I had to have that meeting with the doctor before the procedure. It's really screwed up. All right, this is Late Night Health. I'm Mark Allen, along with the insane Darryl Wayne. Darryl, thanks. Always great chatting with you.
My pleasure.
And we're going to talk about plastic surgery and what to look out for. And as the summer months are here, yay, at last, we'll find out some of the new techniques to make our tushes look better. Don't go away. Late Night Health continues.